We cast spells with our language, with our attention, with our what I call inner standing, not understanding. What knowledge are you standing under versus what knowledge are you bringing forth from within? Love is not the answer. Love is the foundation. Love is the beingness that is the alignment of energy, of self, of divine, of oneness. Hello, welcome to Women Awakening. I'm your host, Cynthia James, and I get the extraordinary pleasure of introducing you to powerful women, extraordinary women, in fact. And what makes them extraordinary is that they have stepped into a space of their own passion, their own way of being, to make a difference on the planet for themselves and for others, and I really believe, I've said this to you a lot, that I think this is the time of women emerging on the planet, that the feminine energy, the divine feminine energy is needed so much right now, because it's out of sync, it's out of balance. And so we can bring our light, our love, our brilliance, our power, our gifts to just bring back the nurturing that the planet, the children, and everyone really is craving. So we are here every week. We're on all of the platforms, Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, Spreaker, Amazon Video, on YouTube. And so please share this video, subscribe, come back often. There has never been an interview that has not inspired me. We are now over 250 women from around the world, and I cannot tell you how excited I am about that, because every single woman is a yes in the universe. So I am grateful to let you also know that there's cynthiajames.net. That's my website. You can go join my private community, my newsletter, and there's gifts and resources there for you. I want to introduce you to someone new to me today. Her name is Ann Jonas, AKA the Love Messenger. I love that. She's dedicated to helping others emphasize their true selves. And she's got decades of experience as a bodyworker and a birth doula. And she now serves as a shamanic guide, intuitive healer, channel, speaker, workshop facilitator, and author of Sacred Connection. And we'll talk about that. Her journey reflects the Lotus Path, rising through life's challenges to embrace transformation, and creates and holds space for others. And she offers guidance with deep presence and compassion. She believes in the power of remembering our true nature as beings of love and light, walking alongside others as they discover and rediscover connection and self-acceptance. Her work is rooted in wisdom and intuition, and she honors the beauty in life's messages, embodying the belief that our mess is actually our message. So, welcome. I'm so grateful that you are here. I'm thrilled to be here. I loved that intro. Thank you. So, I just want to start with how you were born and how you grew up. I think it's important for people to know that we don't just drop on the planet, in our full destiny and fully orbed and ready to do everything. So how did you grow up? Where did you grow up? It's funny, Cynthia, I'm going to jump into this actually and go boom, because we do choose that. We know all of that. We drop in to these containers called family. Mm-hmm. And these containers often for people, probably most of the people that you talk to, because everybody's a reflection of who we are. So you magnetize these fabulous creatures into your world because you are. Thank you. The idea is that we bring forth the experiences, the sacred contracts, right? So there is that. That's where we start. And then we forget all that. We forget all that. And then we live this life. I see the veil, the full veil, completely closing off and bringing the amnesia around 5 years old. I believe under 5, and you've seen babies, they are so connected to God. Yeah. They're not separated. So here we are. What's my story? Well, here's the deal. My parents were both victims and villains in their own way. They were divorced when I was 11. And I'm going to jump to the big one. 25 years later, my dad showed up at my mom's doorstep and he shot and killed her. Oh, okay. I just have to take a breath for a moment. Audience, breathe with us.
Yeah.
I want to say, I know everything is in divine order, and I am so sorry that that happened in your family.
So thank you for that. And you know what I'm going to say, Cynthia? I'm not.
Okay, talk to me
Okay,
about
let's
that.
go. Right. So here's the thing. When my mom died, which was actually 20 years ago, I'm 56 now, 20 years in July 22nd, 2005, I felt I knew this was a spiritual experience for me.
Mm.
At that point, I wasn't a stranger to God. I was raised Jewish and then became a Baha'i and then found my own spiritual path. And I was like, it's all the same thing. Love is everything. That's the title of the chapter in the book that I curated and produced. Love is everything. Okay. I've been on a seeking journey my whole life. I'm aware of that now. And I think most of us have been.
Yeah.
And so when this all was created, manifested, if you will, allowed, if you will, because everybody's got their own story, but we choose in, right? We choose into the stories that are going to be serving for us and our growth. That's how I see this.
Yes, absolutely.
And so the Lotus Path, and we talked about mud. That was a big mud moment. That was a big mud opportunity. When we look at tragedies and traumas as opportunities for gratitude and transformation, we step into a life of choice and accountability, freedom and sovereignty.
Yeah. Well, that's been my life. That's been the life of, 99% of my clients and the coaches that I train, and so I want to know, when did this revelation come to you? Because if we're in that state of amnesia after 5, and there's all kinds of stuff going on in the container that we chose, well, then what was the moment? I think we've all been seekers, though anybody listening to this has been a seeker on some level. But what was the moment where you decided to make a conscious path, a conscious choice to do the work that you do today?
That's such a great question. And here's what's flowing through me is that there's been iterations of awareness. And it's funny, I was actually, I followed a bazillion people, from Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay and Carolyn Mace. And I went to this woman, her name was Helen Bangs, Mind Biotics. It was in the 80s. My mom took me, I was 15. So this has been in my field. And I'm like, what's going to be my awakening? What's my moment, right? My enlightenment moment. And I'm looking for it. And did it happen already? And there have been so many moments. And the idea is, when we can look at our life as this spiral of a pyramid, or we can look down from above and just see, right? So everything is now, right? So we have that going on. Everything is now in multiple dimensional expressions. So here's that thing, the idea of where
I really love this, because here's the thing. I talk about that we're evolutionary creatures all the time, so that there's always a new iteration that's occurring. You know what I mean? But the work that you do, is specific. And so were you in these iterations, were you learning new things and then deciding to share them? How was it unfolding for you?
Okay, I love that. That brought this in. It all is part of everything, right? It's all been serving. So my first ever job, I was babysitting. I was 13 years old. Okay. So that first ever, I had a little a phone book with addresses. I'm a Capricorn, so I got spreadsheets now, but that was the thing. So and then all kinds of service. I came out of the womb to help and support people. It's my essence. But here's the thing, I talked about my parents as both victim and villain. I don't do well with victim energy. I don't do well with disempowerment. Now, what does that mean? I desire for people to stand in their empowered lives. Yeah. Here's the thing, we get to choose. And victim is very serving for lots of reasons, right? Mm-hmm. Lots of reasons, that to feel the essence of what that experience is, to recognize it, to choose. We respond in life all the time. We also react in life. There's a difference.
100%.
And yet they're basically the same because we have an event, we have an experience, we respond to it, react to it. Then we have a story. And then that story is, that's the outcome, but it's the story. And the story is, do I feel empowered or did it knock me on my tushy? Right?
Yeah.
And that's the story because that other thing's gone. So what I offer through 56 years of being on the planet and literally recognizing now, and this is like an iteration, like maybe 3 months ago, I was like, I'm the next amazing version of myself. I'm like version like 11, not 2.0. I was 2.0 a long time ago. And I invite us. Here's the thing. You know what I stand for, Cynthia? I love what your show is, Women Awakening. I stand for greatness. I stand for recognizing that we get to toot our horn and worship ourselves. And as women, that has not been the norm. You're bragging, you're boasting, there's competition, there's no trust, there's no respect. I'm not saying everybody, but this is an essence. And when we shine our light, we get kind of pulled down. But that's the beauty of being a light worker, a black sheep, a rainbow unicorn. That's what I am, a rainbow unicorn. And living in a community, in a family dynamic that's dark. I'm going to air quote that one, people, dark. Because guess what happens in the dark? Growth, nourishment, right? That's what happens in the soil, right? Yeah.
So you call yourself the love messenger, and I want to go back to a little bit in this earlier in this conversation. You said it's all about love. I don't know how many times I've said that love is the answer to every question, but I want to know for the women that are watching, how do they access that knowledge that love is the answer to the questions they're asking and their ways of being and that greatness that wants to be birthed?
Okay, this is powerful. And I'd love everybody to really, like, again, take a breath and listen to what I have to say, because there's a lot of wanting in our world.
Yes.
Okay. And the word want begets wanting. Universe, God, divine, source, Ethel. It doesn't matter what word you use, mystery, goddess, love. It's all the same.
Yes.
Okay. And all of it hears what your request is that is not in your words. Yet we spell, we cast. Spelling, isn't that the craziest thing? It's called spelling. And you're like, hey, we spell. We cast spells with our language, with our attention, with our, what I call inner standing, not understanding. What are you standing under? What knowledge are you standing under versus what knowledge are you bringing forth from within? So love is not the answer. Love is the foundation. Love is the beingness that is the alignment of energy, of self, of divine, of oneness, right? It's oneness.
Yeah.
And it's also being here now. I'm going to say this last thing, because if you're anywhere else but now, you are often not in a state of love.
Yeah. Well, I love what you're saying. And I want to talk about, you know, you're an intuitive healer and you're a channel. And when people are in your presence, what are they asking you for so that you know which gift to use?
You know, it's funny. A friend of mine recently said this to me, who's a friend, client, like it's like a zhuzhed up thing of like love and community, right? And to my home, which is I consider a retreat space, my home, I hold events here. And so people are here. And so we're doing stuff. And she was like, essentially, she says to me, I'm shifting being in your presence. That was quite an acknowledgement. So what does that mean? What am I offering? I'm offering the opportunity for people to see that themselves in the greatest version and light. I support people in chipping away, extracting, allowing, trusting, surrendering, walking a life, living as a practice of being in synchronicity. with God, and God is within. And that is a message that's been shared. I was raised Jewish. I didn't know anything really about Jesus. I have come to learn Jesus is more than Christianity. And we don't need to, this isn't even a conversation, right? We're talking about two different worlds, essentially. And yet, these are the messages that have been given to humanity since humanity has existed. And how did it get all jacked up? Because humans got in the way and did what? Said, oh, we can control outcomes if we set up fear as the foundation. Because love, and if everybody's doing their own lovey thing and they're so fabulous and they're empowered because they're in love with themselves, they're not easily controlled by the systems.
100%, because the system is, its whole foundation and message is fear. I want to know why Sacred Connection came into being, because you said it's an anthology, yes?
Yeah. So it actually started as a webinar, and it came at a point in my life. I'd recently done my shamanic training. It was COVID. How many people, raise your hand, had your life redone around COVID? And, I'm going to say, we were reminded to be human beings again, right? Now, some people went back to the human doing version, but many of us recalibrated. So everything fell apart, all the in-person stuff, right? The retreats, the workshops, all I was doing. And so here's a funny story. And this is vulnerable, and this is an adult show. I was watching this blue sky and these white puffy clouds. I just ended a relationship. And I'm watching this scene from inside my room on the top of my bed with the vibrator in one hand and the bong in the other. Both. There we go. That's called double fisted. And I was like, wow, is this your life? This was 3 years ago. And I was like, these are great things. And yet, it doesn't feel like you're aligned with anything right now. And so this could be one of those awakening moments, because I said, well, I got all kinds of people talking to me. I know they're all in here now. But at the time I was like, very many voices, so many voices all my life, all my dead people. I got all kinds of dead people, right? I was like, come, somebody give me a message tonight when I go to bed. And nothing happened that night. The next night I asked again, and I was downloaded onto my phone. I typed in over a couple hours, what was about 2,500 words of an email that said that I shared, that I was vulnerably sharing that, I have all these parts. I have addiction. I have depression. I have resilience. I have greatness. I'm small. I'm a fraud. I'm funny. I didn't think I was funny. I didn't know I was funny. I'm really funny. And so all this stuff. And then in this download was a 9-week webinar. 8 weeks are co-hosted. And I'd never done anything like that before. So I was like, okay, started calling some people, got co-hosts, got participants, did the first round. That was October of 22. I just finished round 10, 90 weeks of Sacred Connection. I finished last month. So the book came from the webinar, and the idea being how we find this path to a deeper relationship with self and the divine. And each of the other 6 chapters are co-hosts that have been in my field. And we all write our story of our vulnerable expression and reflections on this life and how it's all in this vein of sacred connection. So that's what's going on with that.
That's really beautiful. So you hold retreats, you write, you teach, you a birth doula. My husband is a photographer, and for quite a long time, he worked with birth doulas and photographed
the births. Yeah.
And what called you to be a birth doula?
Well, that's funny. So when I was in college, doing my right, the composition class, and you get to research anything in the world, right? That kind of idea. And I was like, I believe in witches. And I went to research card catalog, Dewey Decimal, right? That's how old we are. People don't know. But here's that thing, right? Pull out the cards in witchcraft. I found out a lot of the witches that were burned at the stake, the real witches, were midwives. Yes. So I was first introduced to midwifery in my 20s. And then I had this 15-year career in what I consider for my first professional career as a food server, fine dining, waiter. where I helped and supported people through a dining experience. I went to massage school, and then I found a doula training after doing a pregnancy massage class. So everything just stacks. Like, you asked when. I was like, well, if you look at that thing and you go all the way back, you're like, oh, maybe that's the root of that. But here's the thing today, for both of us, for everybody, all of you beautiful souls, today began the day you took your first breath.
Yeah.
Like you're everything that you are. And it's not an attachment. It's a part of this now moment. So that's what got me here. So basically it was restaurant work, service work, massage, doula work. And then life happened. I got married. My partner and I had a child, and she had a melanoma journey, and she left the planet. And I was a widow with a 2-year-old. And then I stepped into coaching. Life coaching became spiritual coaching, became transformational guidance. And now I'm on the enlightenment pathway, and I partner with beautiful beings who desire to see and up-level and truly recognize that we are divine as essence.
Yes. Okay, Ann, how do people find you?
Oh, the lotuspath.love. It's super simple. The lotuspath.love. Yes, LOVE. So THELOTUSPATH.LOVE. That came before the love messenger, actually. That even came before. Like, I'm just all about love.
Well, I can tell that by every aspect of your being. So I asked the same last question of every guest on this show. The show's called Women Awakening. Why do you think women awakening on the planet in this moment is important?
I truly feel and aware that as the birth of the future human, it's important that we all look within. My job is the joy of being, JOB, joy of being. My work is inner work. When we all recognize that us awakening is about healing here and healing the planet, healing humanity, healing our consciousness. It's happening. It's happening. It's either going to happen for you or not. But if you're here, it's happening for you because you're here. You found this. You found Cynthia. Everything. Here's the thing. Take this away, beautiful souls. Everything's important. Everything's serving. Everything is a message. And you get to make up the meaning.
That's so beautiful. Well, Ann, I'm so grateful to have had you bring your wisdom and your beauty and your grace and your joy. Really grateful. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Again, you are the magic that's magnetizing all of this greatness and calling us all in. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Rick. Okay, ladies, I close this show the same way every time with different words. What I love about this conversation with Ann is that, she really clearly stated everything's brought you to this moment, and this moment is all you have. So how incredible for you to embrace it, embody it, give thanks for everything that brought you here, take a deeper dive into yourself, and then share it on the planet. I'm so grateful to be with you. I'm so grateful to introduce you to these incredible women. I love you, and I'll see you next time.